What is going on out there, good people, and welcome back to LMD Trading, where I am living my dream trading. Hope everybody out there had a wonderful new year. Hopefully you brought the new year in safe and sound, and if you're watching this video, that means you did because you are here. As for myself, mine was fairly good. Pretty much just lounged around the house. Um, Unfortunately, I was involved in a vehicle accident last week, so brought out 2023 not on a good note because I hadn't been in a car accident in probably over 20 years. Yeah, a good 20 years has been since I've been in an accident, and wasn't my fault, but still, it's never a good thing to be in an accident. And based on the vehicle, how my vehicle looks, it was a pretty serious accident. I'm upset that my vehicle is totaled, but like everybody says, it could have been a lot worse. I could have been a lot more banged up than I am. So I am definitely blessed. Um, but yeah, other than that, we are ready to see what 2024 has to offer. I'm just sitting here about to go through my Magnet2Fifty list, and I figured I would make a video doing that. One of the things I said I wanted to do going into 2024 is take this strategy a little more serious than I did in 2023, closing out 2023. I did somewhat start taking it serious like that last week, maybe last 2 weeks, but for several months, I didn't really pay it much mind, and I missed out on some pretty good opportunities. So, going into 2024, I want to take my time and diligently go through this list, find some good ideas, and hopefully take some good trades. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and switch this on over to TOS because this is a strategy that I use trading in TOS, and I have my charts pulled up. This is usually what I'm looking at when I go through to find ideas. I have a scanner that I made, which I call my Magnet2Fifty scanner, and it basically gives me a list of stocks that meet the criteria that I am looking for. But what I do want to do, I'm gonna just go to scan real quick where I make this where I made this scan at. And I do just want to do a quick scan just to see how many actually pop up on the list. So right there, we got 63 ideas that meet this criteria. And that's out of probably right here. We look 5,000 is what this started with that met the criteria of $1 to $1,000 per share. It's 5,773 stocks that met that criteria. But once we go through and we weed out everything that we needed to find, more importantly, are these studies right here that it usually looks for. Um, it knocked it all the way down to 63. So that's what we know should be over in this list. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to bring my charts back up. And we are going to come right here. I'm going to make a new watch list. I'm going to date that or name it today, first of the year. And that's 24, not 23. And we're going to start with a blank watch list. And I have these sorted by price, market price from smallest to largest. And what I usually will do is just start at that first one. And I'm going to tell you what I am looking for when I do this. Primarily looking at the weekly chart and the daily chart. On the weekly chart, I have 4 different moving averages. Start up at the very top. Actually, we'll start at the bottom and I'll just describe how I label them. So this solid magenta is what I call my pre-trigger. This is something that I added after I initially came up with the Magnet2Fifty play, which initially had this broken magenta line, which is the trigger, and the lime green solid line, which is the magnet. And the way that this trade initially would work is if a weekly candle closed above the magenta line or broke it, I would take part in the trade, trading it up to the lime green line, up to the magnet. After doing a little more studying and tweaking it, I found that if I added this pre-trigger, usually if it closed and broke above the pre-trigger, it normally would go up to the trigger. And then from there, we could possibly get the run up to the magnet. So that's on the weekly chart. On the daily chart, I have 3 moving averages, pretty much the same colors. But something new that I had found is this would usually reject on the daily. It would reject this 100 moving average. So if this is close to the trigger, then I need to hold off on actually taking the trade. I want to take it when it breaks this line. So let's kind of scroll through some real quick and let's just take a look. So this one, it broke the pre-trigger, but it rejected it last week. We do see that it did break this magenta line, which I kind of use as a signal that the market is kind of changing to go long when these 2 moving averages cross. And you see that it flipped get off of there, flipped the daily chart to a green pattern, but not really excited about that one. That's trash. Don't like how that looks. This is what I talk about right here. Notice how it broke the trigger. Normally it's going to take the magnet straight up. Now these are lower price stocks, so I'm going to do it the opposite. We're going to go with higher price stocks and work our way down, just so we can kind of weed out those junk ones. All right. It's a perfect example right here. If we're looking at KMB, it pre-triggered, came straight up to the trigger. It rejected it, came back down, did it again, popped up to it. And if you come over and look at the daily chart, you kind of see what it's doing. It pre-triggered, it came up, and it rejected on the daily chart. So this is one of those ones that, let's see, 122 is the entry, up to the trigger is 124. That's $2. So on an option play, you got $2 worth of room in this particular trade if you had took that trade back then. Right here, we do see that on the weekly, it did close right above the pre-trigger. We're at 121. Again, you got another $2 up to the up to this magenta line. What I am going to see though is what are option contracts like on these, and see they're not too bad. It's got open interest of 1,700. You'd pay about 35 cents or $35 for this contract. 125. And if this was to get in the money, that $35 contract would be worth $200. So that's the potential that these plays have in it. So the trigger 123, the magnet is 127, so well above that 125. And that's the good thing about this play, is that you're buying the option contract based on the magnet price. So you're able to get them at a discount instead of buying them like at the money where they're at now. No, I don't want to buy it at, I don't want to buy a 121 contract for $2, which is $200. I want to buy the 127 and play this for the strategy that it is, that it's going to come up to the magnet. So let's look at Baidu. Baidu is pre-triggered, came up to the trigger, And again, on this one, it's not enough room from where it is to the trigger. So I need to see this get over 121, which is going to put it over the trigger. And then it has room from there up to 127. So then it has good room, $6 on an option contract. That's killer. So if you bought a 127 contract right now, it's going for $161. That same contract, if it hits the money, is worth about $400. So you see the profit potential in those plays. There's another one, WEC. We see that it pre-triggered, and now it's triggered, and now look at where it's at on the daily. This is one that I am going to drop down on this list. This is one that I want to watch. And what I'm going to do is I'll highlight that. The high of that candle is 84.32. I'm going to come right here and not do that. I'm going to come right here and create an alert. I'm going to put my alert for 84.30. When this stock hits 84.30, it's going to send me a text message, and it's going to alert inside of the TOS app on my phone, and it's going to send a sound on my computer if I'm sitting at my desk. So I'll do that. This is going to trigger at 84.30. It has room up to 87. This is a perfect candle right here that shows you exactly what the play looks like. This went, it pre-triggered, it triggered, and it went right to the magnet, and it rejected. All I want is the magnet. So let's look at an $87 contract right now. $87 contract is trading between 25 and 65. Has a 40-cent spread. So you figure you're probably going to pay $45 for that contract. And if it gets in the money, that $45 contract is trading for $2.55. So $255. So a $45 investment stands to make you $245. And that's the picture that I'm looking for. So next week, I want to see if this can break the high. And we'll expect this to snap up there because that's just what we've seen. Let's take a peek at TKO. TKO has pre-triggered. This was one that I had on my list for 12.16. Pre-triggered, made a nice move last week. Didn't quite make it up to the trigger. If you come over here and look, $84. This still has a good $2 worth of room in it, which is not bad. $85 contract is about 65 cents right now. And if it got in the money, it'd be worth about $245. The magnet is $88. So let's say if you did a $90 contract, you're looking at 20 cents for that contract. If it gets in the money, it's $245. So decent, but you have to expect that this is going to do exactly what it did right there and kind of rejected it. So this one doesn't look quite as enticing to me. It's an ugly chart. I don't like when it's choppy like this. For this particular play, I want to see just a steady decline. I want to see this thing steady going down in price and then gets close to the trigger and then goes. So I don't like that picture. That's the picture I like right there. Perfect example. Pre-triggered. Trigger is $43. This thing has room up to $55. Just kind of want to see it get over this magenta line. That's 41, call it $42. Only has about $1 worth of room. The good thing that I do like about this is you see that on the daily, it did flip and it turned the daily bullish. Let's come out and look. We see it did a quick flip there once before. It's been kind of just chopping around. We get this other flip right here. This is one that I'm going to watch actually. And what I'm going to do What's the high of this candle? 41.90. Come about right there. Create alert. And notice I didn't be precise on this. I want to put it at 41.90. I just come up there and change it. It already has the notification set. I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to put this on my watch list for next week. We'll see what it does. Let's look at fun. F-U-N. Nothing fun about this chart right now because notice, trigger, magnet. Next week, triggered up to the magnet. It's just been chopping around and it's up near the trigger now. Now, if this can get over 40, call it 40.55, this could make a nice move up to $44, but not really what I want to see in a trade. And also the option contracts are very sparse on this one. And when I say very sparse, flip on over to my right screen. You can see open interest is very thin. Open interest is very thin. So nothing there that I really want to be a part of. So we'll keep on going. And this is how I can go through 63 stocks fairly quick and find ideas. I'm actually going a little slower now because I'm kind of describing what I like to look for. Again here, pre-triggered. Once it's pre-triggering, I'm going to see how much room is it from here to there. It's only $1. Nah, that's not really enticing for me. So I'm going to keep it pushing. It's another one. Doesn't really look good. This is what I don't like about this one. You get all of these moving averages kind of cluttered up. I like to see them, what I like to call as stacked. So over here on the weekly, these are stacked. These are stacked nicely. I like that. If I highlight the broken one, that's 32.25. Looking over here, 32.25 is the magnet. I'll come and I'll highlight that one, 32.31. If this can get over 32.31, it's got room up to 37. It does have room up to 37. This is another one where option contracts are kind of thin. So this is not one that I'd watch. JD, I'm in JD right now. This is one that I'm in. Took this one last week. Got in a little early, but I do like this picture. Again, this needs to break 29.50. Call it 29.50. I'm going to come right here, create alert. Just knock this down to 29.50 and do that. This thing breaks 29.50. Good chance we'll see at least call it about probably 33, 34 bucks. I have $35 contracts right now. Bring this back over real quick. You'll see what I'm talking about. Let's go right screen. You see right there, I'm in a position, $35, very cheap, $11 a contract. I think I have 5 of these. If it don't work, I lose like 60 bucks. I lose 60 bucks on this trade, but if they work, I didn't even see what in the monies we're going for. In the money's going for 128. Make $100 on $10, $12. You can't beat those returns. And that's the beauty about this strategy is when they work, they work. And when they don't work, it's a small loss. You're not really out of pocket anything big. So let me go back up. I'm going to drag JD because that's one that I want to watch. Let's look at this one here. Um, I don't too much care for the daily, but above 28.34 on this side and 28.50 on that side, it's got room up to 31, $3. Um, what does the options contracts look like? Option contracts are liquid. I will give them that. They are fairly liquid. A $30 contract right now. It's trading between 5 and 45. So $5 and $45. That's a 40-cent spread with the market closed though. So you gotta look at it that way, that the market is closed right now. But that same contract in the money, it's about $3. So like $300. Not bad rate of return on your money. Don't like the look of that one. This one's stacked up nice. This is what I like to see. It's pre-triggered. This thing went $3 last week. So you figure that's about $1.50. But again, now I need to see it actually trigger because it's not enough room between, what is that, 26.43 and 28. There's $2. It's $2 worth of room in that move. And the $30 contract right now is $25. And in the money is $220. So not bad. You can even get a $35 contract right now for like 5 cents. Like 5 cents. Let's go a little more expensive though. If you go out to February, $30 contract is about $115. But that same contract getting in the money, it's worth $320 to $490. So if you wanted to buy time on it, which this is probably one that I wouldn't buy time on, just because I don't really like the way it looks, but I am still going to watch that one. That's going to be one that I just want to see what it does this week. And if you notice, I hadn't paid attention to none of what these tickers are. I'm just solely looking at what the chart is doing, what the pattern itself is doing. This was a perfect one right there. Once this thing triggered, that was a thing of beauty. Went to the magnet, and then it went up here to the 200, and then it rejected. I do not care what the stock is. I do not care if it's going to run. I'm going to be trying to trade this up to the magnet. So that's all I'm looking for. Notice the pattern. Look at this. Flush, comes up, breaks, runs. Flush, we got the flush, comes up. If we basing this on patterns, this pattern is telling me that this thing should, once we get over the magnet or over the trigger, this thing should snap again. Unfortunately, option wise, can't trade it. Very little option open interest. So this would have to be a stock play. And I do take some stock plays with this Magnet2Fifty. I do plan on taking more of them because I do miss out on quite a few trades because I'm looking for stocks that have high open interest. And if they don't have high open interest, I don't take the trade. So in 2024, I will be taking more of these plays with actual shares. And those will be like probably a lot of the like lower price ones. Usually these around here normally have decent open interest, but when I say decent, I want to see at least 1,000 open interest. I want to see at least 1,000 contracts out in the market, not necessarily being traded, but out there. There are at least 1,000 contracts available. That way, hopefully you can get some volatility. You can get some volume to where you don't want to be in a contract and there's nobody on the other side that wants to buy it. or you don't want to be buying one and there's only like a handful that's for sale, and then you're not able to get filled. But this one here, pre-trigger, triggered, and it's up to the magnet. I don't want to see no more out of that. Now this could keep running. Look at the daily. It did flip green, and we're above the what is this? That's the 100 moving average. We are above the 100 on the daily. So this could make this move up to 1821. This could make that move up, but not one that I want to trade because it's already done what I would have wanted it to do on the magnet play. Low open interest, but I kind of like this one. It's choppy. It is choppy, but I would want to see it break last week's high. And then it only got 50 cents worth of room to the magnet. That's the only issue. Reason I like it, little wide-bodied candle, narrow-bodied candle. If tomorrow it can break the high, this thing has a good chance of going $2, y'all. This has a good chance of going $2. And the reason I say it, notice this bowl. This came down. Same way it comes down, I would expect to see it come back up. I would expect to see it up to about 1740 and then up to about 1787. It's almost $2 out of that move. So that's what I would expect that one to do. I'm not going to trade this, but I'm going to create an alert just because I want to see if this does what I think it's going to do. I want to see if it's going to do what I think it's going to do. And I'll actually put it down here. Again, not one that I would trade, but I just want to watch it. And then the rest of these, let me just kind of flip through. We're going to look at them. That one's, again, needs to get above this line. 17, that's $4. It's got good room there. And that has good open interest. So I'm going to drop this one here. I am going to do that. And I'm going to put an alert. I dropped that one right where I wanted it to. We'll call it 95. So TOS will alert me if this breaks 95. And then I'll start watching it. Because again, that's $17. It got room to 21. If I come over here and look, a $20 contract right now is trading around probably 25 cents. So $25 in the money. It's like $1 to $1.60. 5 to 1 on your money. Not bad. Look at that one. These are the ones that, like, in a day, you see these things snap like crazy. Like, literally, snap like crazy. And then people be like, why did it do that? This is why. I be telling people, like, the magnet tells me what's about to happen. What's the high of that candle? 1605. It's $3 up to the trigger. $37 up to the magnet. Got $20. So what's the open interest? Open interest is thin, but probably liquid enough to be able to get in and out of it. But I won't add that one. Let's just look at some of these real quick. And I need to, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another scanner that will show ones that triggered last week. So I can kind of go back and kind of show you ones that actually, what it looks like when it actually works. These are the ones I like seeing. That's stacked, and then that has room up there. Let's see. Let's go CCCC. This was a beauty. This is one that you can see what it did. And this one, this thing went from like a low of $1 in 1 week to $8.51. And this thing had option contracts. So you could have got option contract dirt cheap. Figure on this one, you getting in at like 226, but you're gonna buy the $4 contract. So you buying a contract at like $15. And when this thing got in the money, it was at like $95. That's the beauty of this strategy. And on that note, I am going to go ahead wrap this video up. Um, Man, 30 minutes. I was trying to keep this under like 20. But usually, like I said, to do 63 stocks, I can flip through that list in about 15 minutes. Easy. 15 minutes and build me a decent watch list of maybe 10, 15 ideas. Out of those, I might trade 5 that actually will alert me and look good on my chart. But just wanted to make this video. Thanks for checking me out as always. If you have not hit that like button, now would be an excellent time to do so. If you're not subscribed, please think about subscribing. And as always, we can continue the conversation in the comments. And we will be back at it again tomorrow, ready to take on this 2024 market. Peace.